computer will get ready here. I'd like to call the regular meeting of the City Council for the City of Hudson, January 27th order. Please join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Mayor Burchill.
Here.
District 1 Morset.
Here.
District 2 Yaku. Here. District 3 Bernard. Here. District 4 Tewinkle.
Here.
District 5 Hoggett.
Here.
District 6 Vansel.
Here.
We now will take comments from the audience. If there's anyone here that would like to speak to the council about any items that are not listed on the agenda, now is your time. Is there anyone here that would be interested in speaking to the council?
Don't try to intimidate me.
I'll ask one more time. Is there anyone here that'd be interested in speaking to the council? Okay, we'll move on to discussion and possible action on consent agenda. Madam Clerk?
To approve the regular meeting minutes of January 13th, 2014. To approve claims for payment in the amount of $2,411,247.97. A detailed description is posted on the city's website and is available on request in the city clerk's office. To approve the issuance of 4 regular operators licenses contingent on payment of any outstanding debt owed to the city for the period January 28th, 2014 to June 30th, 2015. Operator license application information is available in the clerk's office on request. To approve the 8th Annual St. Croix Animal Friends Dog Walk in Lakefront Park on Saturday, June 14th, 2014. To approve the Celebrate Difference 5K Run Walk on April 5th, 2014, beginning and ending at Willow River Elementary School. To place on file the monthly financial report from the finance officer and the quarterly report from the police department. That is all.
Is there a motion to approve?
Move to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Yaku?
Yes.
Vansel?
Yes.
Hoggett?
Yes.
Tewinkle?
Yes.
Bernard? Yes. Morset?
Yes.
First item on the agenda would be the discussion and possible action to request to fill a vacant patrol officer. Chief Jensen?
Thank you again, Mr. Mayor. As I stated in my issue sheet, Officer Mark Crimmins is retiring from the police department on January 31st. That will leave us one position short in patrol. What I'm asking from the City Council is give me permission to fill that position. The money is in my budget. The person coming in obviously was going to be paid at a lower rate than Officer Crimmins was. There'll be savings in regards to the health reimbursement account and the 7% towards retirement. So this person obviously will be coming in and it will save the city some money. By the time I get done with the backgrounds and so forth, the person probably won't get on duty until sometime about the first part of March.
Okay.
Move for approval.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 6B, discussion possible action on Lake Malibu change order number 3. Karen?
Okay, this is a change order to the project due to the storm events in June. It was emergency and the change order, the fixes have been completed. The change order is for $39,014.20, and of that FEMA will pay $22,901.45. So there's a remaining balance of $16,112.75. And just at the Finance Commission, it was decided the money would come from the Stormwater Emergency Fund, is that correct?
No?
This 2013 Storm Special Revenue Fund.
Okay, this there, from that spot.
Okay. I think a lot of you were here. Any questions or comments about that? No. Is there a motion to approve?
I'll move to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
All
And I'll
those-
just reiterate,
Yep.
I think it should come out of our contingency fund. It's an emergency, and that $150,000 we set aside was just supposed to be temporary, and so I think it should come out of contingency.
Okay. Any other comments or questions, thoughts? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Motion carries. Item 6C has been referred to Public Works Department. Item 6D, discussion and possible action on property insurance quotes for the city. Nancy, do you want to,
Sure.
I guess I can, if you're ready, go ahead, because I am not there yet.
Okay, the city accepted bids for municipal property insurance coverage. 3 bids were received, plus the renewal policy from the local government property insurance. The bid was from Chubb Insurance for $39,407 for the policy period. The renewal policy from the local government, the difference between the two would be a savings of $14,588. The difference that we noted was there's a deductible, a higher deductible if there's an equipment value over $100,000 that has a claim. So that would be a $4,000 amount that the Public Works Department wouldn't be used to having. There's 7 pieces of equipment that are valued over $100,000 on the policy right now.
Okay. Is there a motion to approve?
Move to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
Discussion, questions?
Just a question on when we do have situations like this and we have deductibles, where do they typically come out of?
They would normally come out of the department from where the equipment is from. So
Okay,
if it's a water utility piece of equipment, they'll come from,
Okay.
if it's one
so
of
we
the
don't
city's
take it out of
equipment.
general contingency?
No.
Okay.
And I also, I also need to make sure that we have approval to withdraw from the local government property fund.
Isn't it, don't we budget it under weights and measures? Is that
No,
word?
weights and measures is the required, the state comes in and tests all of the scales and all of the equipment at all of the grocery stores, gas stations, that type of thing. That's what the weights and measures is
So that we don't typically budget for it?
for.
Deductibles?
Yeah.
For deductibles, no.
We haven't in the past.
And that, again, in theory, if we had a bunch of them, could be an example of what the contingency fund could be, if we had a major event where we lost several pieces of equipment.
Your motion was from Rich,
Yes.
and can you amend it to include the withdrawal from the state local government insurance fund?
Okay.
All right, is there, who is the second on that?
I still second that.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions, comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 6E, discussion and possible action on the 2013 budget amendment.
Each year, the city is required to have the common council approve budgetary amendments and transfers that happen over the course of the year. A number of these items you've already approved. Other ones are to cover things such as increased road salt costs that we had this year that weren't anticipated. The bulk of the budget transfers are within departments, but there are some that are between departments and between funds. This is a list. It's something the council does every year. We just have to have it formally done for the auditors. And there was no increase. Every increase in expenditure was met by an increase in revenue, so it does not impact the tax levy.
Move to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Public Safety Committee, discussion and possible action on parking prohibition near EP Rock School during the 2014 Hot Air Affair.
You want me to?
Chief Jensen or Mary?
He's pointing at me, so I guess I'll speak.
You're it, huh? Okay.
Yeah. When we met for the EP Rock snow removal around the school, a couple of the residents there spoke to me about during Hot Air Fair, when the cars are parked on both sides of the street, they're concerned about fire, like a major fire truck, like the ladder truck, being able to get through. Also, they're parking in front of there's been parking in front of their driveways and in front of their mailboxes, and on Saturday, they struggle to get their mail. I didn't want to go the route of saying, well, we'll send police out and ticket during something that's supposed to be a community event and draw in tourism, so we were talking at Public Safety about which streets would be possible to have no parking on one side, which would be the side that the homes reside on. And through that discussion, we wanted to find out whether or not the fire apparatuses really have struggled to get through. Because there's not 4 different ways to get through, you have to turn those corners. So we pushed it to council due to lack of time to find out, to get that information. And we did receive an email from Jim Fry saying that there is they do have issues turning on some of those corners. And another concern we have now that the snow is being plowed on both sides of the street, it makes it even more narrow with cars parked there, and there's been a lot of snow. So we kind of left it up to having discussion at council where we'd want to take this, if at all. Hoyt and Freer Street are obviously wider streets. We thought about that might not have to be a possibility, where 13th and Summer are more narrow. So we were juggling around, it was just John and I, so we were juggling it around a couple times, and we thought, let's bring it forward and get some answers from fire department first. I know Marty had some suggestions, if you want to speak on them at all, or no? No? Okay.
I know the concern was obviously trying to restrict parking in that area, and then obviously when Jim Fry came out with his recommendation, according to his email, he would recommend that we have no parking on the residential side all the way around the school. That way the trucks would be able to get through. My only objection would be that day is that Summer Street currently is no parking on one side, on the school side, due to that walking path being there, so there would be no need to put no parking on that side. But I guess my recommendation would be follow what Jim's saying, put it on 13th, Freer, and Hoyt on the residential side to allow the fire trucks to be able to get through that area. We've got, I know Public Works has got some signage, we've got some signage that we could put up that says temporary, no parking. I know this is going to restrict some areas where Hot Air Affair is going to be able to have their visitors come and park, but I think what we can do is just move it out a little bit farther. Hopefully the weather will be warmer, so people won't have to walk in the cold too far.
I would just make a note. I mean, I don't think those roads are any narrower because of the way we're plowing now. There's drifting, but I mean, Public Works is staying on top of it, so the roads aren't narrower than they've been
I'm
in
just
the
suggesting they
past.
might be a little more narrow now because there's snow on both sides of the street versus all being pushed into rock. I could be wrong. It's just
Or
a
any
thought.
snow. I think your original concern was if we have a lot of snow between now and then, it's gonna narrow it. I guess I tend to agree, and after thinking about it for a couple weeks and seeing Jim's recommendation, that it's gonna be safe for the homeowners and it's gonna be safe for the event itself. So I guess I certainly would be in favor of the recommendation at this point.
And I know there's already signs marked already, but because it would be something new, and I'd like what Marty would do and just put the cones out or temporary no parking so people can visually see it more than, because we don't ticket during that time around there. I mean, we really, that would just be wrong. And so we
Usually
need
what
to
we'll
be
do is
more
we'll put out
effective.
what we call courtesy tickets, notices.
Yeah.
There's no fine to them, just saying, hey, you're in violation of city ordinance, welcome to the city, but please don't do it again.
Yeah.
So we block off Freer, don't we? I mean, large portions of Freer are blocked off.
We block off the entrance to the school, just a couple stalls, I believe, both ways, right? Yeah.
In the
couple stalls.
past, I thought we blocked Freer off only to people that had
No.
balloons and were onto
No,
the.
just a couple spots where the entrance is to the school. We also have a service entrance on Summer
Correct.
that we block off for fire. The problem's more making the turn to get there for the apparatus if we need a ladder truck and,
So the problem's really on the turns.
yeah,
That would
mostly.
be on the
But
rest
when
of
we thought about just shortening the turn lanes and making that shorter and but when Jim came out with his recommendation, that's why we waited, because we wanted to hear from fire. And when they came out with their recommendation, it's more or less, I'm not gonna be the one who says no to fire about where they're gonna go, how they're gonna handle a fire in a situation or get their trucks through.
So in the issue sheet, it basically says that parking in front of driveways is the issue. But since the issue sheet came out, it sounds like
No,
you've gained information.
Well, no,
from
they
Jim.
also mentioned they were concerned about if there was a fire, but the issue sheet was, I guess, not as.
And I kind of, a little bit hung up early on the issue sheet myself, but yeah, if you look at the whole thing and the turns and everything else, I tend to agree that, again, still, I think it's been a good recommendation to.
Well, if the turns are
Go
the
one
problem, why
side.
don't we just put no parking on the turns? I mean, why don't we just make, a short distance from each turn available for the fire trucks? This is an event that's been in the city for 20 years, and we've been doing this forever, and we don't seem to have had major problems with it.
And I agree.
It's a big draw to the city, it's been very successful, and now we're going to start putting up what I think are some major restrictions for the event. And I'm not sure that's what we want to do unless there legitimately
Well-
is a real issue here.
Well, if you think about it, there hasn't been any complaints or there hasn't been any issues, but when the streets on both sides are parked car to car to car, they're blocking mailboxes, they're blocking parts of
If it's a parking
driveways.
violation, I have no problem giving them a ticket.
That's what I'm saying,
Let's
blocking
put a
driveways.
patrol
Just
car,
block-
They're gonna go and block driveways on
Laurel.
Laurel instead.
let's put a patrol car out there during the time of the event, and if people are violating the law, give them a ticket.
I don't want to give tickets during something like that. I think that's bad PR, that's all I'm
Blocking
saying.
someone's driveway.
I think that's the best PR you can have, is that we enforce our laws, because that's why we have them. And if you intend to violate our laws, we're going to enforce them. So when you come to Hudson, this is what we do. And so when you come here, be respectful of our residents and our taxpayers. And we do have laws, we do have a police department, and we will enforce our laws. And
So-
that takes care of that.
Marty, what do you think about just, having traffic back from the corners?
That's possible for the trucks to get through. I think the other consideration is if you take a look, especially during the fall of the year when football's going on, how when traffic on both sides of the road, if you've got a bus that's coming down the roadway and you kind of try to car it to pass, it's very difficult. Now if you add snow, which moves it that much farther into the street, now you've got a fire truck that's supposed to be coming down. If you've got cars going one direction or a big bus, it could be very congested. That's our only concern, is with the snow. If it was normally time of the year, whether there is no debris in the roadway, no snow, it's curb to curb, I don't think you got that issue.
So you put no parking for the first, like, 2 homes around each corner,
I'd be okay with that.
as a distance. I'm not thinking what the distance is. What is it, 60 feet
You're
or?
talking about maybe 100 feet or something
Yeah.
like that, 200
Yeah.
feet?
Yeah, for the turns.
Tom's gonna come muddy the water.
Well, Tom doesn't like to hear that his streets aren't curb to curb.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Your streets are curb to curb, Tom. There's no place to put the snow right now.
particularly around,
Hold on, hang on a second. Yeah, Kurt.
particularly around EP Rock, I've noticed the crews have been out widening the streets. So I don't, because we have had a lot of snow, but you can tell they've been in there with the wings and.
I'm not saying that okay, we're hung up on the snow part. That's not my point. I was just saying if something were to happen in that weekend where there's a big snowfall, okay, the concern mostly is when cars are parked on both sides of the street, our fire department has stated that it's difficult to make the turn and to get to a fire if they need to. It could be in the summer, okay? Let's just ignore the snow part if that's what we need to do for this conversation.
So if it would help the situation, like Kurt said, we have been winging the snow on the school side. I guess we could make attempt, and I know there's many streets in the city right now that are starting to get pretty narrow. So we could actually go up there and do some snow removal, pull it off from the residential side and not haul it away. We could probably blow it right into the field. So it wouldn't take a lot of time, but if that would help the situation where we could remove the snow from the residential side, we'll just blow it over to the school side. I don't think it'd take all that much longer. And
I don't think we need to, I don't know.
No.
I think
That's-
we're
I
making
don't
this
think we need to
really
do that either.
complicated.
I kind of like what Rich's idea of just block off the corners.
Yeah.
Is that a motion, Rich?
Yeah.
I'll
Make a motion
second
to block
that.
off the corners by whatever
Second.
we feel is
Safe,
safe.
Okay.
yes.
Who's going to determine that? Marty?
Marty.
Marty will do that, okay?
Marty and
Marty and
cooperation with the two.
and
with the
whoever the
assistant
fire
chiefs.
chief or assistant chief or interim chief is at that time.
All right, we have a motion and a second by Randy, I believe.
Yeah.
Discussion, any other comments, thoughts, questions? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is discussion and possible action and referral of annexation petition from Double Play Investments LLC and Rock Island Land Company for a parcel located on the northeast quadrant of Carmichael Road and Frontage Road. Mr. Darnold,
Good evening.
good evening.
We have two property owners that have filed for annexation for approximately 45 acres total. Double Play Investments and Rock Island Land Company. Double Play owns about 29 acres, and Rock Island Land Company owns about 16 acres. This land is on the east side of Carmichael Road, north of I-94, so also north of the Frontage Road. Typically, when a petition for annexation comes before the city of Hudson, it's introduced to the Common Council. Common Council would have the prerogative of saying it's premature to annex the property and turn back the annexation petition. typically, I've probably reviewed 15 to 16 annexation petitions my time here. I think there's only been once that we've done that, and that was just, it was so straightforward, it was premature that we just turned it back. I am recommending that you forward the petition for annexation to the Plan Commission and the city staff to allow the city attorney and I to develop an annexation agreement. This does not mean that you need to approve the annexation. It just means that the issue will be reviewed and recommendations will be coming forward from the Plan Commission and city staff. This is a fairly complicated annexation due to the fact that it involves properties that surround the existing residential area that would remain in the town of Hudson potentially. It has approved plats and streets that would need to be potentially vacated by the city of Hudson to allow commercial development to move ahead. The intent of the annexation is for commercial development, and our comprehensive plan does designate this area as a business or commercial area, so it would be compatible with that. There are issues, probably minimally 2 meetings of the Plan Commission, maybe 3 or more, but it's going to take some time to review this, get through. Other issues would be the traffic generation on Carmichael Road and the impact on the I-94 interchange system. You've got stormwater management. This is an area where it goes down, so stormwater management's a very significant issue. Wastewater treatment plant capacity, I have reviewed that. At this point, I think maybe that's the least of my worries. But and there's, and again, then repeating myself, is existing plats and vacations, potentially vacations of streets. There are representatives of Double Play Investments here tonight if you have any particular questions, or there's also some of the nearby residents that are here tonight may want to visit also in regards to this issue.
Does anybody have any questions, or do you want to refer to the Planning Commission and city staff to review?
I'll make a motion to refer to Plan Commission and city staff.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Okay. Comments, questions? Go ahead, Rich, did you?
I think it's probably premature to have comments on it then.
Sure.
Yeah, because we really don't know exactly where we're at until we get back from the Planning Commission, what it's all about.
Yep. Okay. Any other comments, questions? Okay, all those in favor of referring?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Future agenda items, city council people. Any questions, comments that you want to add to future agenda items?
Did we have an item from finance that?
Stays at finance. It wasn't ready to come to council yet.
Okay.
It was just setting a finance
Okay,
committee
I'm
meeting
sorry.
for future discussion.
Got it.
Yep.
Okay, communications from city attorney.
Nope.
City administrator.
One quick item, with the snowfalls that we've been having, and we put notifications in the utility bills, and we've tried to make it available, but we would encourage residents, if they have vehicles that they sometimes would park on a city street, that they sign up on the city's website for the notifications. As soon as Tom declares that it's a snow event, and the last two have been in the weekends, I can access it from home, and the notice goes out immediately. That way people are made aware of it. They can get it on their cell phone, they can get it by email, goes out on the Facebook and Twitter pages. And there's also other alerts out there, emergency alerts, cancellations of the concerts in the park. There's a number of things that we have set up for city residents that they can receive instant notification on. So, but especially with the snow event parking on the streets, we'd encourage citizens to sign up for that, so there's no confusion about, when and if. They should know to get their cars off the street if there's 2 inches of snow, but this is just a reminder for everybody, so, thank you.
So if it's going to snow and it says it's going to get 2 inches, move your car, right? Danny, do you have something?
The Plan Commission for this Thursday night has been canceled. There was a couple issues, and try to turn over the staff time to look at the annexation this Thursday would be very difficult. So the next Plan Commission meeting is scheduled for Thursday night, February 13th. Starts at 7 p.m., so.
Okay, thank you, Denny. Is there anything else? If not, I'd like entertain a motion to adjourn, please.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned, thank you.